Hi, my name is Denis Mospanov. Here's my second unit project. I will start by walking you through the website's functionality. So, the navbar includes create account, deposit, withdraw, all data where account information is displayed, and the home page, which is accessible by clicking the bank title. Note that when I hover over a navbar item, the text becomes highlighted. There is also a hover effect displaying a description of the page. So now let's take a look at the pages, starting with Home. This page includes the bank title, an image, and a welcome message on a styled bootstrap card. Next, we've got the Create Account page. This bootstrap card contains a form to input the account name, email, and password. Note that the confirmation button is disabled till all fields have been filled out. This validates that the user entered an account name and didn't leave that field blank. Now, if I don't enter a valid email address, you get an error message instructing you to enter a valid email format. Same goes for the password. If it is less than 8 characters, an associated error message pops up explaining the error. Once the form is filled out correctly and submitted, a success message replaces the form and a new button is displayed to create another account. Selecting this button brings us back to the original form with all the fields cleared and the Create Account button disabled. We can now jump over to the All Data page to see all the registered accounts with associated credentials and account balances. Now moving to the Deposit page, the user is first instructed to log into their account on a green card. Entering an email address that hasn't been registered will trigger an error message instructing the user to create an account. Password is validated as well, triggering an error message if the password doesn't match the account's previously registered credentials. Once logged in, the card displays the name of the user, their balance, and a field to enter the deposit amount. The deposit button remains deactivated till an amount is input. If the user enters anything but a positive number, an error message will pop up. Now, let's enter a positive number. The deposit button is now active, so let's hit that. And there we've got a deposit successful message. The balance updates and the amount field is cleared. Once finished with the deposits, if you hit the Deposit to Another Account button, you'll be brought back to the account authentication page with cleared fields to log into a different account. Moving on to the Withdrawal page, the functionality is quite similar to the Deposit page. Now on a red card, we begin by entering account credentials and then hitting the now active Validate button. All the same validation features and error messages are incorporated into this form. Now logged in, we once again see the account name, the balance, the amount field, and a disabled withdraw button. Let's start by entering a positive number, and there we see the success message and cleared form. Now if we enter a negative number, or say a letter, I get an error message asking me to input a valid amount. Now if I enter an amount that is greater than my balance, I get an error message saying I have insufficient funds in my account. So, the major challenges I encountered was deploying to AWS. I kept hitting roadblocks with compiling errors when running npm run build, then getting a blank page when visiting my bucket URL. I debugged each error I was getting from running the build, with some issues being simple oversights in my code to more challenging ones where Stack Overflow forums were extremely helpful, such as getting my export default lines of code right. In terms of design, I decided to make the card colors symbolize the function of the page. For example, the deposit page is green to symbolize the addition of funds, and the withdrawal card is red to symbolize the subtraction of funds. From the starter code, I added field validation and reworded the error messages to be more comprehensive for users. An extra feature I implemented is the login functionality for the deposit and withdraw forms. This not only adds a bit of security, but also ensures the user is making transactions on the desired account. Now, I haven't implemented the forms as a separate component, since it was challenging enough to develop the rest of the functionality and successfully deploying. Since the Bad Bank project can be refactored for the final project, I'll add formic components which will definitely improve the aesthetic of my interface. And that's it. Thank you very much.